YouTube, Shinobi here with a review of the Power Rangers Dino Super Charge Deluxe T-Rex Super Charge Zord Armor Ranger. Yeah, that's a mouthful. I did pick this up from my local Toys R Us for $19.99 back when Super Charge first hit, so it's been sitting in my room for a while. But we're finally getting a chance to take a look at this thing. It is a Zord Armor figure. It's not a whole lot new, but there is some new molding to this that makes it pretty neat, and I will show that off in a moment. Here is a quick look at the packaging. Nothing crazy new for Zord Armor. It's the same style packaging, except done up in the Super Charge color scheme, so nothing too new there. So here we have the actual Zord Armor portion of this toy. Like I said, there are some bits that are remolded. Here is a quick shot of the original Zord Armors. So it's a little bit more bulky, I suppose. So there's that. I like these little T-Rex head thingies on the shoulders here. They're designed pretty neat. And we will get to its Dino Mode shortly. Looks like one of the legs came undone down here. So there we go with that. Pretty neat. It's got a little tail sword that I can use, so I can slash on some stuffs. Back here, kind of the same system. It's got these little arms that kind of like tuck back here. And so it's got some neat design elements to it. I would have liked the arms to be a little bit straighter and not this weird sort of curvy curve thing going on. But I digress. It's still a neat little design that I like quite a bit. It just kind of was there on the shelf way back when, because not a whole lot of people were talking about it, and it kind of caught me off guard, but it was a good kind of catch off guard, because I like the look of the Zord Armors. They're not super functional toys most of the time, but I do like the look of them at the very least, and this one is probably one of my favorites, especially when we're only looking at the 3 currently available in the Dino Charge line. So, not too bad at all. Yeah, 4 total, including this one. My bad. So, let's go ahead and transform this thing. Alright, before we do anything else, we of course have to take the back figure out, and we will take a look at him. Given the name of this toy, I'm sure you probably know who is piloting this thing, especially given the fact that you can see the color of the toy right here. But it is Tyler. He now has a big mech suit to look for his dad. But this is the Super Charge Mode, Carnival Mode, and Curator, done up in a awful looking bike figure, as we generally like to call them. Yeah, so this is a thing that happened. The design is fine, but it's a clear one, just like all the other Zord Armor figures, and that's not really an issue or anything like that. But the lack of paint is a little bit of a killer, but I will give it that fact that it has more paint on it than the actual bike figures, so there's that. The yellow painted right here, the green right here, and the helmet is fully painted, but other than that, that's all you got. The helmet is actually sort of crooked, and his head don't move, so that is that. So he's pretty stupid. I generally like to display the Zord Armors without anyone in them, just because it doesn't really detract anything from the toy. It does give it a little bit more of a hollow thigh section down here, but from the front view, it's not really like it loses a whole lot of appearance, so I kind of just like to prefer it without the figures. Plus, if you bring them off your shelf to play with them, the normal action hero figures fit just fine in these, so it's kind of better to just have your normal looking Ranger pilot it than the weird translucent horribly painted one. So to transform this thing, you kind of just have to take it all apart completely. Like every single possible piece just kind of comes off this thing. Alright, so to form the legs, you take the 2 leg portions that match in direction, and this Zord Builder peg right here will plug into the upper portion right there and swing so it's all the way up like this. So it'll form a curved foot, which is accurate for a dinosaur. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing over on this leg. Just like that, it does create this kind of weird thing, but just pretend it's a spike or something like that. So now we have our two legs. Gonna go ahead and take our body section and flip the arms down, and then the legs will connect by connecting the topmost Zord Builder port with this, if I can get it to snap in. Come on. Just like so, so you can see the body of a dinosaur starting to form. Do note that the tiny pegs, the handlebar kind of things right there, will hit up against this leg, so that you know you're in the right stature for that. Go ahead and take your two head pieces and snap them together. Just like so. And those two pegs will attach to the helmet right up here. Kind of bring down the arms just a little bit more. And then finally the tail will peg in right back here, just like that. And you have the Dinosaur Mode, which is head's kind of cut off. Hold on a sec. Alright, there we go. And I like this mode a lot. Obviously it does have a bit of a hollow body sort of thing, but you can position an action hero to kind of sit up here. It looks a little strange, but you can do that. You can't really do a whole lot with this guy, just because of the way he's designed. He can kind of like chill up back there or something like that, but you can't actually splay his legs open a bit and actually ride it normally. That was a weird sentence, but I like the overall dinosaur look of this thing. It's probably one of the better looking ones of the three that are released, the three that were released previously. And I don't know, I like it. The tail helps quite a bit. The head sculpt is pretty neat. With a little bit more paint, that could look really, really nice. A black wash, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't do much. He's got some movable legs, so he can, like, go or something like that, if you want to do that. But yeah, so that's all there really is to the Dinosaur Mode. I like it a lot. I think it looks neat for what it is. And yeah, so I think probably my favorite of the Zord Armor dinosaur designs as well. So this guy's just kind of winning all along. So of course there is compatibility with the Dino Charge Megazord as well. So to go ahead and do that, we're going to kind of have to dismantle him again. So while I was glancing at the instructions, they actually pointed out that this is the way to get the figure to ride the dinosaur. The legs aren't entirely supposed to go that far out, but I guess it is something you can do with that figure. Again, I would just use an actual action hero that can actually splay its legs open, but hey, according to the instructions, you can do this. Alright, so we're going to take the legs off. We're going to take this helmet piece off and actually leave this together, and I'll get to that shortly. Remove the helmet piece off from that and just set it aside. We're going to need that. And you can pop these two apart right here. So with these leg pieces, all we're actually going to do is just click them over one and just kind of make sure that they're secure. So just like that, and we are actually done with those. We go ahead and take our little T-Rex head pieces and just line them up with those pegs, just like they were when we started this video. So line those up, peg those in, just like that, and these are the arms of the formation. And these will go ahead and just peg in right there, and right there, and then the helmet will come on in and slide right on to the Dino Charge Megazord. And then we have this thing, and I said to keep it together when you're coming from the Dino Mode, just because this is actually legitimately how it is. You can kind of fold this up all around. But yeah, it's a sword with a giant body attached to the bottom of it, which uses all the pieces, so it is what it is. It's not really a huge deal. But that can just peg right into the arm right there. And now you got a big old body sword shield sort of thing. So that is what it is, and there we go. So here is our formation. I don't know exactly what to call it. suppose if we're going off of the show standards, we're going to call this the Dino Charge Megazord T-Rex Super Charge Zord Armor formation. But it actually is kind of neat, I think. I'm not a huge fan of the way that the arms look, because the actual legitimate hands of the thing are covered up by the little feet things, and those are acting like the hands. So that's a little bit of a weird thing, but I really like the T-Rex heads up there. It kind of gives off a really cool feel. In person, the reds that they use are not the same. It's kind of coming off looking pretty identical on camera here. But in person, the reds are not the same, but it's not a huge difference to make me complain about it or anything like that. So I don't know. I kind of like this as like an actual robot design. I think it actually kind of works. At least for me anyway. So I dig that quite a bit. The weapon could use a little bit of help, but hey, it is what it is. It's got a little knife thingy attached to it, so yeah. And this is actually one of the few where you don't have to switch the backpack around, though it does sort of get in the way, but hey, what are you gonna do? Not a whole lot. So there we go, there is that. So overall, just like the other Zord armors, this thing's just relatively okay. I like it quite a bit, but I completely understand that most people will not. I think if you're going to hunt down one of the Zord armors, to go ahead and just give them a shot. Of the 4 that are currently released, this one is probably it. The figure kind of blows, but the Dinosaur Mode looks pretty nice. The Zord Armor Mode looks pretty nice, and the end result, combined with the Dino Charge Megazord, or at least Rexy, because that's the only element of it that you actually use, does end up looking kind of neat, at least in my opinion. So I think if you're going to hunt down one of these Zord armors at the time of this recording, this one's probably it. 2 more were announced that look pretty snazzy, if I do say so myself. So we will check those out when they release. But I don't know. I like this for $20. It probably is a little bit too little. But if you can get these on a sale or something, the Zord armors tend to not sell that well, so they hit the clearance eventually. Then by all means, pick this one up. I think it's the one that's probably the most worth it out of the 4 released. So I dig it. If you like it, pick it up. If you don't, you don't. That's pretty much how this works. So that about does it for this review. If you like it, go ahead and blast that like button, comment below, and subscribe for more. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye. That was a slight Valley Girl tone in there. Bye!